Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews. I'm here to give my top 5 Hindi films of 2019. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that this was the best year in Hindi cinema. I found Tamil films and some Telugu films really affected me much more deeply, and I just found more quality in the other industries this year, but there were some standouts. I have an honorable mention. To be honest with you, I kind of went back and forth on number 1 I knew, but like which was number 5, which was number 6 was, that just didn't quite make the cut was harder. Honorable mention, I think, would be Badla, the film starring Amitabh Bachchan and Taapsee Pannu. This film is a remake of a Spanish film, and interestingly, in this same year, the film Evaru, starring Advisesh and Regina Cassandra, a Telugu film, did make my top 5 based on the very same story. The films have a lot of similarities. They're based on the same basic story, but they have a lot of key differences too. This isn't the first time that Taapsee and Amitabh have been in a film together. They were in Pink, and it's just really fun to see Amitabh playing this lawyer, and Taapsee was incredible. She showed such a range in this part. The film also has Amrita Singh. It was delightful to see her on screen. She has a very important supporting role in the film. Her entrance scene, was really so dynamic, and she's so vivacious and everything. Love to see her on the screen again. Very good film, just not quite my top 5. Number 5 is actually War, starring Hrithik Roshan and Tiger Shroff. Okay, yes, I know it's just a big bombastic action film, but my God, it was good. It was one of the most enjoyable films that I had in the cinema. Of course, I was really looking forward to seeing the dance-off scene between Tiger Shroff and Hrithik, 2 of the best dancers in the business, and it certainly lived up to all the hype. That scene was amazing. This film was not a romance. I did have Vaani Kapoor as sort of a love interest for Hrithik's character, but it was more a bromance. In fact, after I did my initial review, there were so many gifs that went around of that scene when Tiger sees Hrithik come off the helicopter and he's just staring at him. Like, yeah, there's a lot of undercurrents going through this film. This film is directed by Siddharth Anand, who gave us Bang Bang, a very similar feeling kind of big action film with Hrithik. In fact, that was my first Hrithik film that I saw in the theater. I just really enjoyed this movie. Now that it's been out for however long, my review, I couldn't give spoilers, but it reminds me a little bit of like Face Off. I mean, besides the plastic surgery and all of that kind of vibe, but just the fact that you have 2 big stars in a movie together, and it's just so fun to see them play off each other. The action scenes in this film were incredible, with Tiger Shroff's and Hrithik's dancing abilities, and also Tiger Shroff's martial arts prowess made for really exciting fight sequences. I mean, Tiger's introduction scene, he bursts into a room literally and dispatches a whole room of guys without a weapon, just with all his amazing moves. It was incredible. They spent the money. There were location shots in the Arctic. There were location shots in Portugal. It looked gorgeous, and they hired some of the top action directors in the business, people who had worked on Transformers, on Dark Knight, and so forth. And it showed. It showed there on the screen, and it was just a fun movie to see. Definitely one where I said, this one's worth your money. Number 4 is a film that was only played in Chicago for a week and then disappeared. I think a lot of people didn't necessarily go to see it in cinemas. It was kind of one that people missed. Saunchirya, starring Sushat Singh Rajput, Bhumi Pednekar, and Manoj Bajpayee. This film was about dacoits, so it kind of felt like in the same way we used to have a lot of westerns and now they're very rare. Same thing as this used to be a whole genre of films, from what I understand. And this film has a lot of homage to a film called The Bandit Queen. which evidently I think Minaj was in as a young actor. But anyway, Bhumi Pednekar kind of plays head of her own group of bandits, and she has her whole backstory and how she got there. Sushant plays this character who is haunted by something that he has done in his past and feels like he's always searching for redemption. They call themselves, this band of robbers and thieves, they call themselves rebels, and they kind of wear a uniform, and it was really interesting, their own code of honor that they had, their own moral code. Through the film, they encounter all different groups that have their own moral codes. This film had a lot of talk about caste, and in fact, Bhumi had one line about I can't remember if she said it or somebody said to her that women are their own caste below all the other ones. It was really interesting statement. The cinematography in this Abhishek Chaudhary film was incredible. This stark landscape. I'll never forget this opening shot of this dead snake, and we're staring right into its eyes really close up, which the band of rebels views as their curse. It's just really an interesting film. A lot of people missed it. I would definitely recommend you seek it out on streaming. Number 3 is a film that I just saw, The Sky is Pink. Oh gosh. You know, the subject matter of this dying teen, even if she was played by Zara Wasim, was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can sit there in a theater and live through it. And maybe you had the same feeling. But it's such a life-affirming, warm, heartwarming film, and it just had so many funny moments. But it's really about these parents, played by Priyanka Chopra and Farhan Akhtar. They had such chemistry together in Dil Dhadkne Do, and it's wonderful to see them in a whole movie like this together. They just have great chemistry. They're both actors at the top of their game, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful film. Yeah, there was some tears while I was watching it, but Zara is also such a good actress. But the incredible thing is that this is a true story about a real family. And after I watched the film, I saw an interview with the whole family, and how many of these dialogues and stories are straight from their own life, it's just incredible. So the director, Shonali Bose, went through a tragedy in her own life with her own child, and I do think her perspective as a woman director and also as someone who had lived through the death of a child really made this film real feeling. And these were not cardboard cutout characters, these were real life flesh and blood people. It was just an incredible film, so I'm so glad that I did see it. So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out on Netflix. Number 2 is Article 15. Ayushmann Khurrana keeps going from strength to strength. I mean, last year was incredible. Badhai Ho, he had Andadan, all of these incredible films. And he had some great comedies this year too. Dream Girl and Bala. I swear to God, he's going through every single issue. But this one was something different. He never played a cop before. He plays a Brahmin, high-caste cop coming in to work at this rural outpost. Right from the beginning, you can see when his driver won't buy him water from a street side vendor because he's of the wrong caste. It's like he realizes, okay, I'm not in the city anymore. I'm not in Europe where I've spent all this time. He's just constantly running up against all of these caste issues. There's 3 oppressed caste girls who are missing, feared murdered. A lot of the film is a whodunit, but it's just also such a commentary on all of these caste issues. Anubhav Sinha, the director, has pulled together such an amazing cast. Muhammad Ahmed plays the leader of the oppressed caste group. I've never seen him kind of in a heroic role. He's usually kind of somebody's best friend, like in Zero. Kumud Mishra as the officer Jatav, who is from an oppressed caste, and just shows his conflicted, dealings with his fellow police officers and their prejudices against oppressed caste people. That was an amazing performance. Manoj Pawa, though, as this one cop who constantly pushes against Ayushmann and says things like, let's just keep the balance. He just keeps wanting to keep the status quo, not rock the boat. and Ayusha Min is constantly pushing against him. This film had so many twists and turns. I mean, just as a mystery, it had really unexpected turns. I think it's based on a real life case, so maybe people in India already knew where it was going, but I didn't, so it had a lot of surprises for me. It was just really good filmmaking. Number 1, Gully Boy. Oh my gosh, this movie. This movie just is, for me, head and shoulders above anything else. And yes, a lot of it is the soundtrack. This soundtrack has just been my constant companion this whole year. I listen to it over and over and over again. I have certain favorites like Train Song. Karsh Kale helped Zoya Akhtar pull together all of the songs that are in the soundtrack, and I got to see a documentary about Karsh Kale at the Chicago South Asian Film Festival, and he was there and he was talking about how they saved this Train Song. They knew it would be a hit and they saved it for this film.
About 4 years ago, I had worked on a tune with the Medieval Pundits and Ravi Dixit called Train Song, which I knew right away that I was like, this song is going somewhere, so let's not put it out. So we all decided to just shelve it and just wait. And I mean, we used to play it live, but we said, let's not put it on any records. Let's just wait. And then when Gully Boy was, when Zoya was working on Gully Boy, she heard the song and in fact shot the end of the film to Train Song.
I was afraid this film would be exactly like 8 Mile, and it wasn't. Ranveer Singh has had so many bombastic, larger-than-life kind of roles like Simba. But this one, he was a little bit more shy and pulled back unless he was on stage doing the rap and doing songs. He was really that character. And it reminded me of how subdued he was in Lutera. I thought he gave such a fine performance. I love the way Alia Bhatt's role was written. Here was this Muslim med student fighting her parents. She's fighting for her freedoms, and she's mouthy, and I just loved her. I loved how feisty she was. Alia and Ranveer have good chemistry, and it was just really amazing to see them play these characters. There were so many great supporting characters in this film, all up and down the line. Everybody was excellent. This film was, of course, directed by Zoya Akhtar, one of my favorite filmmakers. And she wrote the script with her partner, Rima Kakti. The script was amazing. The way that this incredible soundtrack was put together, the way it was woven into the film, I just loved this film so much. It was the entry for the foreign language film of the Oscars. Didn't make the final cut, but it was just such a strong film. I love Zoya Akhtar's filmmaking. I can't wait to see what she does next. My list may be different than yours. I may have missed some films. I didn't get a chance to see every Hindi film that might have come out this year. What's your top 5? Let me know in the comments below. Is there a film that I missed that you think I should check out on streaming? I'd love to know about it. Please tell me in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews, and if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.